I took my troubles down to Madame Ruth. You know that gypsy with the gold cap tooth. She's got a pad down on 34th and Vine, selling little bottles of Love Potion number 9. Welcome back once again to the Straight Skinny Show. Let me just test my voice. Let me see. Yeah, that's good. Let me just one more test. Wait a second. Yeah, we're good to go. Okay. This is show 9 of the Straight Skinny Show. Let's talk about drinking the Kool-Aid and drinking Love Potion number 9. Think about it. Last show we talked about moral courage. So many of these politicians, and of course, anymore politicians are not the best and the brightest, as you know when you watch the media, even though it's biased. They got to show pictures of these people and hear what they say, and they're a little twisted. But, the reference everybody makes to drinking the Kool-Aid is, of course, Jim Jones in Guyana, where he told people it's healthy for you, it tastes sweet, it's wonderful, and they all died. And these people, some of these politicians are going to die in November. But yeah, Love Potion number 9 is our theme music today, because the world needs love. It's a song, too. What the world needs... Love, sweet love. So I would cool it with the Kool-Aid, okay, and try and find that lady down there with the gold tap tooth that can make you some Love Potion number 9, all right? Not number 8, not number 10. I like the 9. Very sexy. So we're going to talk about, I think in the control room, we're finally coming up on that gun control thing, right? Yes, putting country before courage. But in the second segment, I believe we talked about the gun control proposition by Mr. G-Man for the politicians, and we're going to talk about that this week. Do you have any clips you want to throw up, or I'll just talk about it? Okay. For any politicians out there who did not watch last week's show, or anybody who didn't tell their congressman or senator this story, G-Man used to be a politician in his early 30s for 8 years. And the G-Man was a problem solver. And every problem, there's a solution for every problem if you put your noodle to it and put your wheel to your head to the grindstone, your arm, whatever. If you push and shove and scream and holler, you'll get your wishes. Now, I talked about a 30-day vetting to get a gun, a rifle or a handgun. Think about it. Think about it. Deep vetting, criminal vetting. If a guy comes back from the military, and 20% of veterans become police officers on some level, if they have PTSD, it'd be nice to check all these guys trying to buy a gun or a rifle. What about private citizens, vets, for PTSD? So you need 30 days. Now, the important part is the training. If you watch the McCluskeys in St. Louis, they were brandishing those guns like they'd never picked them up before. They were clueless. You can't be clueless driving a car. If you go for a driving test, you knock over every cone, can't do a three-point turn, and your parking sucks, you're not getting a license, okay? You're not going to get a license. So what I'm saying is, if the legislators said you got to train for 8 hours on a pistol range with a certified instructor, or 12 hours, I don't care how many hours, until you're proficient with that gun safety, aiming at least in the general area where you're shooting. Like Corey said last week, 33% of guns fired don't hit their target. 33%. Only 33%.
Yep, only 33.
Yeah, which is good if you're playing baseball and you're hitting 1 out of 3 targets, home runs. Great. But shooting a live ammunition in a handgun, that's not good enough. You need training. So pay it forward to people to make it a 30-day vetting process. You got to train. You got to show competency. You got to have a clean record for being a nut job. Okay. If you're not a nut job and you got a clean record, you'll probably get a handgun if you could learn to shoot. So that's that. All right. Now, we did 8 shows before this, and of course, not so much doom and gloom, just talking about America's problems and our take on it at the Straight Skinny Show. If this is your first time tuning in to the podcast, so you're a virgin, okay? And the point is, you don't know what the paradigm is. It's simple. You may not know what the straight skinny means, but people are starting to use this term because the straight skinny is a World War II U.S. Marine Corps expression about what is the unvarnished naked truth. A couple guys in a foxhole. One guy's looking out to see what's going on with the Germans in World War II. Guy in the bottom of the foxhole yells up to the other guy, "Hey, psh, man, don't bullshit me. What's the skinny, man? What's the straight skinny?" It's the unvarnished naked truth. We bring that to you here. We do research, not just in America where it's all biased and spun. We check worldwide news, France, Germany, Vietnam, South Korea, Australia, Italy, India, because other countries tell the truth because they're not personally involved in our process. Yes, there's connections, there's interconnectivity, but I'm talking about the running of our country. Imagine these, I said last week, imagine the Frenchman in the French cafe sipping coffee and smoking a fag, you know? They're all these Americans. I think they're going to have the new American Revolution, looks like. I mean, they think we're nuts over here. And we're supposed to be leaders of the world with the dollar and with industry and with military strength to protect people. And we're running amok. Man. So anyway, forget it. Let's put all that behind us. That was the past 8 shows. We discussed our solutions. Let's talk about today. Today's show is to show that America really is a country that is kind and compassionate and charitable and cares about their neighbors. Not everybody, but I'd say much more than 50%. So today we're going to view, shortly here in a second, some random acts of kindness that motivate people to do good works, good deeds worldwide. What are your thoughts, Cor?
I think random acts of kindness is probably one of the most important things in life that we can do. I love that subject. I mean, how many times have you driven past somebody broken down and everybody keeps going on and, oh, they just might need a simple hand to push them out of the way, make sure they're safe, and people don't do that anymore. You know, I've seen how many cars you live in Philly, you've been on 76, how many people just pass somebody that's broke down in the lane, don't help them stop and pull over? I mean, a random act of kindness can make somebody's entire world. And
no, they do the opposite. Guy bumped out of his car. He's laying there prostrate. They're trying to get a viral video going. They're not trying to help the guy.
No, not anymore.
Hey, dude, maybe I can sell this viral. This will go viral. I can sell it to CNN or some shit, make some money, you know? Because the guy's bleeding out. They're not even helping him.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Everybody grabs their phone before they go for help.
Ay, vaya schmear, man.
So what do we got first up, Jay?
Well, you know, according to the cheat sheet here, we recapped episode 8.
Ever since I was a child, it was like my dream to move to New York City and become a writer. I moved right after graduating from college. Very quickly, I started to become very sad and very lonely and didn't know how to really tell my friends or family about it. Depression had been this ugly word to me growing up, and it was something that happens to other people. It was becoming harder to get up in the morning. It was becoming harder to be in conversation with people. I just felt very worthless. One day I was on the train and a woman came onto the train from the platform. She looked lonely, she looked downtrodden, she looked sad. I pulled out a notebook and I wrote her a letter, and it felt like I had been doing it for years. I noticed something happened in that moment where I forgot about myself and I forgot about the sadness and the worthlessness. There was this resolution in my mind that if this is how this letter writing makes me feel, then I am gonna do it as much as I possibly can. I basically made a promise to people, like, if you need a handwritten letter for any reason at all, I don't care who you are and I don't care where you've been, I will write it to you. My inbox just started to fill up with letter requests. It was women struggling with loneliness in Japan and New Zealand. It was girls being bullied. It was boys moving to new cities. I realized very quickly that people don't need you to relate to them. They don't need you to have all the right words. I think that sometimes life just calls us to have words, just to be there and show up for somebody when they are losing all hope. It didn't matter that I was sad, that I was lonely, that I was depressed. I could be that for somebody else, and I wasn't going to miss the opportunity to do that. It says that I have too much mail, so I need to go to the front and pick it up.
Corey, what's your take on that, what you just watched?
You know, I mean, so often we're in our own worlds, we're in our own heads. We all have our own problems going on, and we don't stop to actually think about others and how tough it is for everyone else, too. And, you know, we're stuck in our own problems, and the fact is everybody's stuck in their own problems, too, and just once in a while to have somebody say, hey, you're a great person. That's something we don't get that often.
She didn't vocalize this, but she sort of did. It's to me, my take real quick, just watching that, because she felt bad, but maybe she had that thought in her head to motivate her there, but for the grace of God go I. So I sense she sort of self-medicated herself psychologically by reaching out to another person that helped heal her. Does that make sense?
That's yes, that makes complete and total sense.
Roll 2.
In Italy, where so many have died and so many more are isolated, they sing to each other from balconies. At night, voices echo through the streets with canine accompaniment. In Spain, where they're also suffering, to say thank you to doctors and nurses battling to save lives, people step outside and applaud everywhere. In Houston, at Irma's Southwest restaurant, now ordered closed, a couple left something behind, a $9,400 tip to pay your guys over the next few weeks, the anonymous note said.
This is beyond. I mean, I don't even have words for it. I just really don't.
We have to let our staff know that we may be off to work for 15 to 30 days, depending on how long that is. But the gift we got today should help soften the blow.
At a Cleveland watering hole, also closing, a customer added a little something extra to his less than $30 bill. $2,500 for the staff. When the NBA stopped the games, Cleveland...
Wow.
What's your take on that one?
That's awesome. I mean, it just shows we all have to stick together, and it's nice to see that some people appreciate that and see that we're all human, we're all still here and in the same communities and have to live with each other.
Think about the kind of human beings that leave. The guy left 9,000. Okay, 9,000.
Yeah.
Didn't say Bob Miller. He didn't sign it anonymous. No. So many. I have a Jewish friend who's given away tens of millions, and they want to throw big affairs for him and dinners and all, and give him awards. And he's like,
no.
He's like Greta Garbo. Here's the check. Now he sends the checks with the courier. You don't even go to give it to him personally. He'll be trapped. He's put wings on hospitals, nurses, scholarship programs. I call him JK. His mother was in Annenberg.
Okay.
It's in the genes. If you know who the Annenberg family is in American history, very extremely charitable, hundreds of millions of dollars. Walter Annenberg, who sold TV Guide, Triangle Publications, for $300 million.
Oh, wow, okay.
Extremely wealthy guy.
Yeah.
He was at Pennington. I think it was Pennington in New Jersey. I'm correct, in the Lawrenceville area. They didn't allow Jews, but they allowed him in, and he was a Jew. So, at the end of his career, he gave $300 or $100 million to Pennington.
Wow.
Because they gave him his start education, and he felt obliged to give it to him. But yeah, some people just want to be humble. They don't want they don't want the credit. They don't want their name like Kimmel on the center, you know.
Exactly.
He paid $30 million, by the way. That was his number.
Wow.
That's what he bid. Let's roll the next one. We got 4 in the first half and 4 in the second.
All right.
I believe kindness equals gratitude. Hi, I'm Peggy Filer. I'm the current advisor of the Random Acts of Kindness Club. We started our first club meeting with 5 people. 5. And now we have 75 at every meeting. R-A-K. Every year we get new t-shirts. And then the back says Kind People Rock. I have the best job in the world. I've learned that just the smallest thing can make a huge difference for people. We always do a big personal products drive for a local nonprofit called Hope Lake.
We're going to do a conga line around here, and then we're all going to pick a bag and take it that way.
In the spring, we do Miracle League Baseball, where our kids are the big buddies for kids with disabilities. And one for all! Yay! We have these groovy orange vests, and we just go every 2 months, and we get kids to sign up and pick up garbage. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
What drew me to the club mostly was Miss Filer.
Woo!
Mrs. Filer is awesome.
Mrs. Filer, she's probably one of the coolest teachers that I've ever had.
Say Random Acts of Kindness.
Random Acts of Kindness.
Yay! I want them to be loud with their kindness. I want them to understand how much of a difference.
You know, Corey, last week we talked about moral courage, people that put politicians and actors and people that back when men were men and women were women and sheep were nervous. I don't know. But the point is, no, back when Americans were real people. They weren't snowflake millennial wearing skirt guy. You know, they weren't. We didn't have 58. I'm not racist. I'm not anti-gay. I sing in gay bars. I'm a singer too. I don't participate in gay activity, but I sing in gay bars because that's where the best piano players are.
There you go.
Best piano bars, and you know. Gay guy likes my singing, wants to buy a drink. I'm not going to complain. Just not going to sleep with him. Okay.
There you go.
I tell him, just not built that way, Sonny. But thanks for the cocktail. Okay. But no, the point is, I made my point. What do you think?
You know what? Without people who are there to do stuff for others, I mean, the world would be a pretty dark place. We do all have to kind of step outside once in a while and realize that for most of us, if we're doing something right, we wouldn't be where we are if people didn't help us.
Look when there's look when there's a big horrific event, and people drive a lot of miles to come bring a card and flowers or balloons or toys or plush, and they build these shrines. Or here's a better one. I've driven down so many highways where I see little shrines to like a daughter or a son or a parent or a friend or a relative who got killed in a car crash.
Oh, yeah.
And people feel compelled to leave a shrine there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's roll the next one. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep them doggies moving right. All right.
Okay, we're going to commercial break now.
Also called cigarette break.
If you'd like one, sure.
Yeah, I think we're rolling good today.
All right.
Oh, sure. Go ahead. Okay, we're going to take a break. Not break dancing. I'm too old for that. You know, I'll fess up. I'm a great dancer, but my back went out, so I'm not dancing these days.
I've seen your pop and lock routine. It's pretty impressive.
Listen, I used to do Michael Jackson better than Michael Jackson did Michael Jackson. It's fun to go to bars and dance by yourself. Sting wrote a song about it. I told her that I was a flop with chicks. I've been this way since 1956. She looked at my palm and she made a magic sign. She said, what you need is love potion number 9. Sutton's Irish Pub. With 10 beers on tap, exotic cocktails, assorted wines, and elevated bar fare. Niall Murphy, a history buff, proprietor of Sutton's and a native of Ireland, was inspired to name the spot for the Sutton family, English shipbuilders who opened a foundry and ironworks at Front and Girard Avenues in the 1840s here in Philadelphia. Sutton's Bar is a nod to the past industrial might of Kensington and the hard-working people of many nations that came to call it home. You don't believe me? Listen to what the people say.
Food was phenomenal. Drinks were perfect. Service on point and friendly. Can't wait to go back.
Great food and great staff. Perfect place to grab a local drink.
1706 North 5th Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Sutton's. Open every day from 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. or visit Sutton's on the web at suttonsphilly.com. My friends are now your friends.
Starting in 1941, the golden era of private dining clubs and male privilege. stood the venerable Vesper Club, now transformed into the hippest bar and restaurant in Philadelphia on Sydenham Street. It's been said in its heyday that more business deals were done in the Vesper Club than anywhere in the state. Great music, great food, great times. It doesn't hurt that women at the Vesper Club outnumber men 2-1. Happy hunting.
She bent down and turned around and gave me a wink. She said, I'm gonna make it up out here in the sink. It smelled like turpentine, it looked like Indian ink. I held my nose, I closed my eyes, I took a drink. I didn't know if it was day or night. I started kissing everything in sight. But when I kissed a cop down on 34th and Vine, he broke my little bottle of love potion number 9. Welcome back after break. Let me check my pipes again. You know, every so often I have to check my pipes. Let me see. That's Jungle Bird, by the way. I do animal impersonations on the side. Yeah, we're fine. Okay. Second part of the show today, random acts of kindness. I'm going to talk about, on the chart here, the kindness scientist.
Our science has started to discover facial expressions for, laughter and compassion and embarrassment. My name is Dacher Keltner, and I'm a professor of psychology at UC Berkeley, faculty director of the Greater Good Science Center. In point of fact, Charles Darwin, who's greatly shaped my research, argued in 1871 that sympathy is our strongest instinct. Very impressively, scientists are starting to pinpoint really a network of neurons in the brain that helps us empathize. Now we find when we feel compassion in humans, that part of the brain lights up. That part of the brain is connected to oxytocin networks. And we know oxytocin is this amazing neuropeptide that helps us empathize and be generous. That tells us that kindness is biological and it's part of the human imperative or human nature. I think your question also is asking another question.
What we do here is we study emotions and what makes people happy, and part of that is based in feeling compassion and reading other people's emotions.
Or one of the things we learn is how even very small gestures of compassion and kindness, even those in the lab, really make you feel more satisfied, more content on just an everyday level.
We're starting to learn that as you practice kindness, it shifts your nervous system and you're healthier, right? That kindness and compassion may be as powerful a determinant of physical health as smoking.
Corey, even as people do random acts of kindness, there's always haters and naysayers and negative. I call them toxic negativity people. I've had confrontations in my life of 70 years where somebody gave me crap, and I said, oh, well, the classic mistake, you mistook kindness for weakness. Now you're going to get my wrath. Yeah. So my point is, do the kindness no matter what anybody says. Exactly. It's like one of my favorite audiobooks is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. Plus he sends out weekly newsletters to remind you to not give a fuck. What's your take on that clip?
I have to admit, I've always raised my daughters that, hey, look, walk away from any fight you can, but if they don't let you, hit them with a fucking chair.
Yeah. Well, in karate, we were taught by the sensei, it's a 3-foot rule. It's a 3-foot rule. You come in that circle.
Hey, always be compassionate, always be kind. We all have bad days.
Sure.
We all have those horrible times that we might lash out on someone, and we need someone to just actually accept the fact that we're having that time.
We got to walk in their shoes.
Exactly.
Okay, coming up next here we get the Smile Project. Is this a dental commercial? No, it's not.
People can they seem like they're in their own world and not necessarily looking around and wanting to connect with another person.
My friend that went out with me the first time, she was just like, I could never do that. Hi. Hi. This is an enlarged photograph of my smile.
She's holding up a big sign with teeth, smiling.
It's like the smile is underneath a microscope and we really get to see it.
It's pretty infectious. You see somebody holding a placard with a smile, you feel inclined to smile as well.
Hey! Somebody's on the phone and they'll say, I just saw this woman walking around with a big smile. This is my car. And I have a big smile on the front and the back. Just this idea of giving everybody a big smile when I'm driving.
I just saw you walk down the street.
She's got a beautiful smile.
I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool. It's going to bring a little bit of happiness to people.
Well, I can only think of one thing. Smile, though your heart is breaking, smile. Even though it's aching, though there be clouds in the sky, you'll get by if you smile through,
Yeah.
There's a song about everything on the planet Earth.
What was the Bam Bam and Pebbles back in the Flintstones?
Oh, God, they were great.
Smilers, I forget the song off the top of my head. I will find the clip, we'll play it for a quick second. Do you remember that one?
No, but I love Bam Bam.
Yeah.
He's like super baby, could tear bugs down with a single, whatever.
But yes, I mean, they say, hey, smiling is the best antidepressant. Force yourself to smile and...
Well, if you want to get scientific, they talk about frowning uses 90... Scientists say frowning uses 97 facial muscles, but smiling only uses 13 or some shit,
Exactly.
I mean, there's science on this.
Yeah.
There's science on it.
And you know what? The more you try to be happy and kind of let things go, the more life actually brings to you and experiences.
And I think random acts of kindness, if people are honest, if they're not looking for remuneration, money, or fame, or their 15 minutes of fame or whatever, they're just like that previous segment with the $9,000 tip. Here's $9,000. I'm not leaving my name. I don't want a party thrown for me. Just take the money and use it wisely.
Exactly. One thing my mother always said to me growing up is smile and the world smiles with you, cry and you cry alone. I know that came from something because her great aunt always used to say it to her, but...
Well, the things that are said 2,000 years ago or by great-grandma, many of them are still true today. Let's talk about the Muffin Man. The Muffin Man.
All right.
You never know what you're going to get. I'm Jack Dice. I'm 77 years old, and I'm a retired general contractor.
There's quite a bit of milk. I'm 76, and I used to work in Chevron.
15, 20 pounds, maybe. Feels like 100 to me. I'm Frank Spagnoletti. I'm 85 years old, and I'm retired from Eastman Kodak.
Here come the Muffin Man.
One of the ladies in the homeless shelter used to say, "Here comes the Muffin Man," because at that time, muffins were a big thing. It's not so much muffins anymore, it's everything. We started out as the Muffin Men until the ladies joined us, and then we had to make it gender neutral. Muffin people. We collect food on a daily basis, 6 days a week, from various supermarkets, and we deliver it to shelters in Oakland. This food had been going to waste primarily before we started. This has been organized and going for 24 years, 6 days a week. There's only been twice that I've lost anything off the truck.
Senior citizens and the unemployed gonna have something to eat today.
We're just unloading at St. Mary's Center.
Our largest.
Honestly, you guys can see me on video here on the podcast. I'm 70 years old, I'm a senior. These guys are in their 70s. Let me explain something about retirement. Let's take the word, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, now that I'm up in years. Think about the word retired. Retired. Take the R-E off, what does it say? It says tired. So many people work like these gentlemen, long careers, 25, 35, 40 years for Eastman Kodak or Chevron or whatever. Probably up there in management. And when they retired, they weren't tired, like so many people are couch potato older people that do nothing and they just wither away and die at a younger age. You got to be active in your older age. I say to people this, and they agree. In life, as you age, if you want to keep going, if you want to keep moving, keep moving. Your take on it, Core.
You know what? I think at some point in time we also do realize that there's more to life than just our careers and what we've been doing. And I don't know, me personally, the older I get, the more I want to do more for the community and be part of something bigger than just kind of what's in my head.
That's part of the normal aging process. It's called paying it forward.
Yeah.
What do you think the G-Man's sitting here for?
Exactly.
Do I need this shit in my life? No.
Ain't that the truth? But
listen,
bringing some enjoyment and hope to somebody.
The G-Man is living his dream here.
Oh, yeah. And that's the goal, my friend.
And the nice thing about nice thing about podcasting is there's just like they haven't legislated against the tech companies yet, they haven't legislated any bullshit rules or regulations about podcasting.
Hey, we live in America.
So
we can say whatever we want.
If you piss me off and I say, "The fuck did you say, Corey?" I can get away with it.
Exactly.
All right. We're going to talk about the last the next to the last segment, paying it forward.
It's got raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, and grapes. I'm making a fruit platter for the police. This is my grandma Margie, and she's helping me. Policemen need energy, so they can run faster to get robbers. These are cinnamon rolls. Everybody likes cinnamon rolls. We're bringing these muffins, orange juice, cinnamon rolls, bacon, and sausage. I think it takes to be a police officer bravery, courageousness, kindness. Police officers need kindness so that they can teach other people how to be kind. This is really heavy.
Every year around Abby's birthday, she does a Pay It Forward project. And this year, when she was thinking about what she wanted to do, she went to her mom, and what did you say you wanted to do?
I wanted to do something for the police because you guys do so much for us, and I wanted to do something for you guys.
This is a very small way for us to say thank you for doing this, and this is our Lakewood Police Department Challenge coin. So thank you, Abby.
Every year my grandma gives me $25 and I try to collect more money to help animals and people in need. This week my class has been working on cards for the police. Today a police officer came in and he talked about his job and how to teach other people how to be kind and how to spread kindness.
Introducing to the set one of our additional, we have so many people on the show I lost track. we got Janae, who is the associate producer, editor, co-collaborator and creator with the G-Man of the G-Man Straight Skinny Show. She's on the set, brings a little female testosterone to the set. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, this particular episode was a joy to put together, honestly. Especially watching this last clip of the little girl choosing for her birthday to have an act that she did every year, that she did something for someone else. And it involved her whole family, it involved planning, it involved her classroom sometimes. This was a complete joy to be a part of.
You know, when you see people in life, young children like that, how old is she? 6 or 7, 8, 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, this kid's going to have a future. She's smart, she's articulate, she's sweet, she's beautiful. And you're going, this kid's going to have a future.
Definitely, yes. And the support that she has to make it happen behind, the idea. She came up with the idea, and then she had a whole team of people helping her make it happen.
The joke would be the old Art Linkletter show from the middle of the last century where kids say the darndest things. In the modern social media computer world, kids think of the darndest things. They're much smarter than adults half the time.
Yes,
Especially when it comes to compassion.
Yes, that is often true.
Okay. The reason Janae is on the set is she's going to talk about, you know what you're going to talk about.
Yes.
The Amish prayer vigil for the missing girl. And because you brought me this segment, there it is. I want you to take us through it, Janae.
All right. So this is a photo of a prayer vigil for a missing girl. Her name is Linda Stolzfus. I'll pronounce it properly in Pennsylvania Dutch, Stolzfus. And she was abducted at some point on her way home from church. And the Amish lifestyle is very foreign to many of us. So that, I think, is the key to this part of our episode. That is that the Amish culture is completely isolated from the rest of the world. They have no exposure to media. They have no newspapers, no radio. They only have electricity for business purposes. So she disappeared, and her family is about, I think she has 7 or 8 siblings. I could be wrong. That's a thing to fact check. But what ended up happening upon her disappearance, people came together, and it was immediately just within the Amish community and then spread to their neighbors. This is in Bird in Hand, Pennsylvania. So Bird in Hand, Pennsylvania is in Lancaster County, which is a very, very tourist area. There's many things to visit.
Sure. Okay.
If not just on your way to see other things in Lancaster County.
Sure.
So what ended up happening was people who had access to media organized with the police and the fire department. They reported her missing, and they're very private. They don't have, they don't have telephones. It's just, they're very, very isolated. So
they're plain.
they're plain, yeah. And what they organized and she's been missing now for 7 weeks. It'll be on Saturday.
Bad sign.
There have been prayer vigils every other night sometimes. They vary, but the prayer vigils are posted on Facebook by people who have access, and people of all walks of life, all cultures, bikers.
Cross-section of society.
Yes.
You know what? Pardon my
in the
ignorance
area.
for a moment, but at the same time, for those who don't know, I mean, Why is there not pictures of her? And I understand I grew up around the Amish, but pardon the ignorance. And for anyone, who's seeing this right now, why are we not posting pictures? And please explain.
Telephone pole
There is
Lancaster
actually
County,
there is one photograph of her, and it has been posted as the missing person, and she's in her Amish garb. She happened to be wearing yellow in the photograph. So she's wearing her black apron dress and her black bonnet covering.
Sure.
And her dress underneath is yellow. And Amish only wear plain colors. They don't have any prints. And they always have an apron dress over top.
Yeah.
And they always have a bonnet. So her color is actually yellow. That is, I'm referencing that because I was just told my parents attended 2 of these prayer vigils, and they're going to attend a prayer convoy. And it is mapped out. It's several miles long, and it goes throughout Lancaster County. It's this Saturday. And everyone is to wear, or I shouldn't say wear, but darn their vehicle with a bow, something made of fabric,
Yellow.
Nothing from the dollar store. They're very, very specific because of their lifestyle. So yellow scarves and I think maybe balloons. I'm not sure about that, but all is the color yellow because that's her photo.
How old was she?
Is
she?
I believe that she was 17 years old. Again, I should have double fact checked that, but
Do they suspect it could be like a human trafficking thing, where she was just like
no, they
kidnapped?
actually the unusual circumstance around the case is that 2 other Amish girls were abducted about 3 weeks prior to her abduction.
Oh.
And they suspected, yes, that it was a human trafficking situation.
Okay.
However, they have the man in custody. They have video footage of him with her in his van, and evidence of her being in the van. But he is in prison, and he is not telling them where she is.
Wow.
So he was arrested several weeks ago, and his parents are now meeting with the family of her family.
Right.
And they're praying with them and trying to give them support in the ways that they can. The community has expanded so rapidly just because of it's such an unusual thing to happen. The way it happened, she was walking home from church and she never made it home.
Yeah.
And the last person home in her house was to blow out the candle at night. And her mom went to make sure everyone was in bed, and the candle was still lit. And she went into Linda's room and saw her clothes were laid out for she was supposed to go and meet kids at another church activity.
Right.
So that's when they knew something was wrong. And it's just a very strange thing for the Amish community. They don't understand it. They are not familiar with it because they're not exposed to the same things.
And they're nonviolent.
Right. And they interact with acts of kindness to each other. So, like, whenever something goes wrong, they're in this tight world.
Look how they raise barns. Guy's barn burns down. They put
Right,
one up in like 2
that's
days.
a classic example.
Yeah.
The movie Witness was a great example of
Yes,
exposing
yes.
us to that culture.
Exactly. And they really, really are that private. And so my parents happened to attend one, and it was led by a man at the beginning on the edge of a hill in the middle of a field. Everybody pulled in because of the pandemic. It was, come as close as you want, participate as you feel. And at this point, I think we have some video footage from one of the prayer vigils.
Good.
Let them feel the comfort of heaven, the security of eternity, of an all-knowing God underneath us with everlasting arms. In the name of Jesus.
Now they're going to silent prayer, which is very common. And actually, this video is an hour long, and this particular time of silence, I think, lasted for about 20 minutes. Yes.
What I like, Janae, and what I'm seeing in the video is the multi-ethnic Rainbow Coalition of neighbors.
Exactly.
Supporting each other.
And
different religions, different denominations, different cultures, all coming together in a Rainbow Coalition. This is true diversity, which is what America should be about.
Right. You can see there are a few formal dressed Amishmen in suspenders and white shirts.
Notice the physical touching of everybody, interconnecting physically.
Yes.
To bond.
And there is. Thank you.
Bruce Springsteen
This
wrote a
is
song
one
called
of the
The Human
things
Touch.
that was pointed out to me from my parents was that the two vigils that they were at, the sky was overcast, and the clouds opened up to reveal the sunset.
It's a sign of hope.
Yes. Yes, definitely. And the fact that there are so many people responding and supporting this culture, which many people just don't know or understand and see it as sort of an attraction or something to be curious about.
A sideshow, right? Like a carnival atmosphere.
Exactly. And they're not around them. They don't see them. And oftentimes there are Mennonite families that are confused with Amish, but they dress very differently. And they have a little more flexibility in their culture.
Right.
So this...
Not as restrictive.
Not as restrictive. And they have jobs and they can work elsewhere. They can't drive. They're still horse and buggy, and so are the Amish. But this girl being missing has... and the fact that they have caught her captor until
suspect,
the suspect. Well, actually, he's admitted to it.
Oh.
He was released from prison during COVID.
What?
He was in prison on another charge, and then was released.
I wonder I would have an innate curiosity of what that charge was he was in prison for.
Yeah, I don't know.
What level of offense he made to get there, and was it a precursor to what they suspect he did.
Right.
If he admitted to it, I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why his parents are involved with the family, because they're hurting and they want to help and they want to be an aid in supporting for healing, which is another act of kindness that comes from outside their culture. It would be, for the Amish people to allow them to communicate with them.
Right. Well,
is a big deal.
Yeah. In summation, the G-Man's overview is the fact that, from what I'm hearing you say, is that because they didn't have the interconnectivity that the rest of the world has in the modern world, they were at a disadvantage in the situation.
Yes,
so other people had empathy and sympathy and compassion that they were unprepared for this and stepped up to help them deal with it. And that is neighbor loving neighbor. And doing unto others as you wish they would do unto you. That's a great story. Thanks for bringing it to the show.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks for your Virgin voyage on the set.
Thank you for having me.
I think in the future you'll be keeping that seat warm a lot, honey.
We'll see. Yes, I hope so.
Yes.
Thank you.
Enjoyed. Especially our rendition and our harmony on Love Potion Number 9.
Yes, great fun.
Fun show today. Fun show. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Corey, what do you think, brother? Time for our boot heels to be wandering? Are they settled?
Yes, sir. It's time to wrap up another episode. I do enjoy the fact that
in the set, Jenny.
This week there's good things happening in the world. We did acknowledge that.
Let's introduce the world again to our little game we play, or our many games that G-Man's created, the acronym game.
Oh, boy.
What we're going to do is we'll just do a couple minutes today, 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
Now let's introduce our Virgin Voyager here. Well, she's not a virgin, she has kids, but our Virgin Voyager on the set.
Good way to break that down.
I am very new to this game, and I don't know.
Janae, so let's give her a baptism. Let's give her a baptism of fire, Corey. Give her. She understands the premise. Do you not, girlfriend?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Give her a word.
All right.
You're put up.
Time. I'm going to say time. Let's come up with something for the word time.
Truly intimate measurement of energy.
Ooh, nice.
There you go. That's actually pretty good. I was actually going to say.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'll take a step.
I'm actually impressed with myself.
Go ahead.
I'll take a step. I'll take a step. Time. T-I-M-E. Tacos ingratiate my energy. What?
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
You got one, Corey?
Let's see. All right. Truly in many experiences.
Nice. You know what?
Some things up.
I told Corey when I created this, it could be great. Drinking game.
There you go.
It
that
could
definitely
be.
could.
Okay,
It'll get you quick on the synapses.
I'll give Corey a word.
All right.
Dog.
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 Do only good. That's all I can think of when I think of dogs.
I'm taking a second.
Do only good.
Boy, this is really good. I'm taking a
Never
second.
trust anyone that doesn't like dogs.
I'm taking a second nip here on that one. All
There
right,
you
now
go.
Janae has to throw a word at Corey and I.
Okay. Here we go. Pulse.
I'll take a shot first.
All right.
There you go.
I'll take a shot first. Pulse. Wow. Put underlings, lackeys, survivalists everywhere. That makes no sense.
Oh, there's the L. That's right. All right.
That was
So
random.
It's the L, yeah.
put
Random.
unsurpassed, superlative, lucky energy. I don't know. Yeah.
that was a lot of 50-cent words, bro.
It was definitely.
All right, Jenny.
Pressure under liking certain events.
Oh wait, I got the L and the S screwed up. I did. I spelled that wrong. So.
Well, try again. Take a second whip
All
at
right.
it.
So.
Pulse.
Right.
Put unsurpassed, lucky. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll give it to you. Point your knife. There you go.
All right. On that note, G-Man will finish with a joke.
All right.
Yeah.
And then I'll have a little mini speech.
Why'd the chicken cross the road?
Get to the other side. the consortium with the pig, I don't know, in the barnyard. No, where was I? Lost track. Where was it?
You were stopping with or ending with a joke, sir. Not stopping. Ending.
Okay. Well, it's yeah. Okay, so years ago they were doing a study of what people thought was the world's greatest invention. So the MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, very smart people go there. They sent all these scientists around the country, and they're asking people, what do you think the world's greatest invention was? People are saying, well, the wheel and the internal combustion engine, and the steam engine, and the computer, and the airplane, and the... So there's one scientist, he's down in Georgia, and he's driving through the backcountry out in the farmlands, and he spies a guy on a tractor plowing a field, and he thinks, you know what? I've been asking all these smart people. Let me go ask, like, just average, John Q. Public, average guy, farmer, So he parks the car. He was walking out to the field, and the tractor guy, the farmer stops. He goes, "What can I do for you, son?" He said, "Well, I'm a scientist from MIT, doing this research about the world's greatest invention." So the farmer takes his bandana off, and he's hot day. He's wiping his brow, and he's thinking, "The world's greatest invention." He says, "Well, Sonny, I think it's the thermos bottle." Of course, the scientist is like, he's heard a lot of the answers, not the thermos. Why would the thermos bottle be the world's greatest invention? Well, the farmer says, "Geez, Sonny, it keeps my tea hot in the winter and cold in the summer." And the scientist says, "Yeah, but why is this such a big deal?" He says, "Well, how do it know?" So I thought it was a good story because it just shows how people think, and they have common sense, and they have mysteries of life. And the thermos bottle, this simple piece of glass,
how do it know?
How do it know?
Definitely does make our lives better.
I want to make a couple key points here in the epilogue.
All right.
Let me get my glasses on because I'm like blind as a bat, as they say.
Stop getting older.
Give me a time machine. I'll go back in time and change all the dumb shit I did. Okay. Really, I think, and I hope the guys on the set here agree, that the true morals of America, the morals in these stories today of the random acts of kindness, prove, I think, I truly believe my heart of hearts and my gut, that America really is fundamentally kind, gentle, decent, compassionate, caring, empathetic, sympathetic people. That's the heart of the country. Everybody knows there's a lot of assholes out there. You ever see them driving in the highway? They cut, there goes another asshole. I used to say to my third wife, unfortunately she passed away, but I used to say, when I see people do shit, I say, no shortage of assholes in the world, is there, dear? So, I just realized that that's who we really are, and that the golden rule still applies to a lot of people in America. A lot more than 50% believe. Do unto your neighbor as you would have him do unto you. Practice the golden rule. Be nice. Be nice. Be nice. By the way, the election coming up, I laugh when I see these signs in the stores at the shore where I grew up. No shoes, no shirt. No shoes, no shirt, no service. Okay, that's fair. Don't bring germs in. What's the other one? Oh, yeah, now. No mask, no sale, no service, right? How about they put a sign at the polling places in November? It says, no voter ID, no vote. The Chinese used to say at the laundry, no tiki, no washi. And that concludes our show for today. I hope you enjoyed our topic of random acts of kindness. You should follow this and study it because it's happening all over the world. Because as bad people do bad things, good people rise up and do good things. We showed it today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned from it. Hope you go out there and do some yourself. Just do one a day. See you next week. And I'll say it as we always do. До свидания. Bonsoir. Hasta luego.
I held my nose, I closed my eyes. I took a drink. I didn't know if it was day or night. I started kissing everything in sight. But when I kissed a cop down on 34th and Vine, he broke my little bottle of love potion number 9. Love potion number 9. Love potion number 9. Love potion number 9.